This podcast and every other podcast that I make is brought to you by our supporters on Patreon. Some of our members got this about 5 days ago and with an extra 20 minutes worth of content. But otherwise, you can also get the show completely ad-free there. Or at the very least, just help us continue making this very independent, totally sponsorship-free show. Regardless, we hope you enjoy the episode. Thanks for watching.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Movie House. I'm Alana, that's James, that's Elyse, and that's Ryan.
Hi.
Hello.
Any cool films that you guys have been watching recently before we get to the topic?
Any cool films?
I want to shout out something real quick. We didn't watch it, but yesterday, Elyse and I were sitting on the couch and we were working, and she said, put on something that we don't have to pay attention to. And I just started searching through a library and came across Sixth Man, which is...
Sick Man?
The Sixth Man, which is...
The Sixth Man.
The basketball...
With the Wayans brother.
It's about two brothers who play basketball together. One of them dies. He's a better player.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But then he comes back as a ghost to help his brother and the team win.
Is it a Field of Dreams like?
More like a Ghost Dad, like
Yeah, I would say it's definitely more slapsticky,
More like
ridiculous
Ernest
comedy.
Slam Dunk.
We only got as far as the opening scene, and I was like, "This movie rocks!" Like the way it was setting up all the pieces,
Turn
I was
it
like,
off.
"I know exactly how the final scene of this movie is going to
Yeah.
play out." And I love it, and so we were like, "We're gonna have to pay attention to this." So we didn't watch it. So
That's amazing. Similarly, my shout of film that I guess it's more that it's way better than I thought it would be. Maybe 5 days ago, I watched Face Off for the first
Are
time.
you kidding me?
Okay.
Oh my
Oh
God.
All right.
God,
Man.
It was incredible.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a bad film. I
No.
unironically
No,
think
no,
it is
no.
a
Who's saying that here?
Some of the people that I've told that I've seen have been like, "Oh, that movie sucks."
No,
What?
no, no,
What-
no.
They're
what
idiots.
film did
drop
you
them
see?
out of your life.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it's great. The performances are so much fun,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't know that much about it other than they swap faces, but I didn't expect them both to do it. I think I thought that the whole movie would be
One face?
Travolta was still like his character was still alive, so it was just Nick Cage. I didn't expect them to both. have
A
swaps.
double swap.
Yes,
Yeah,
double
yeah.
swap. Oh
Yeah,
my
yeah.
god, it's so much
Are
fun.
you a woo head? Do you like his
I don't
other
think I've seen a lot of
work?
his
Oh my
movies.
God, you gotta go
What-
check out
what
his
else
Hong
has
Kong
he-
stuff.
yeah.
The Killer, Hard Boiled.
Mission Impossible 2.
Mission Impossible 2.
Oh yeah, Mission Impossible 2.
Yeah, yes, please.
So this is amazing. The rights for those movies have been in like purgatory for ages, and recently Shout Factory did the deal.
That's right.
So Hard Boiled, Better Tomorrow, The Killer, they're all coming to 4K
Oh, fuck
this
yeah.
fall. And the AFI, is it the AFI?
Yeah, John Woo's in town right now showing them.
Yeah, they're
with
showing
4K
them in
resurrection.
August.
Oh,
yeah,
right,
they're showing
yeah.
those prints
Okay.
at the Egyptian.
Hell yeah.
But they're all sold out. But
Yeah.
they still have, they messaged me and said you can line up on the day for dropouts.
dude.
But they're doing
Right on.
That's
I'll do it.
awesome.
all weekend. Well, I'm trying to.
Yeah.
Mike's a member of the AFI and he has reserved seats. So I'm asking if I can steal his, because I grew up watching those films.
They're
I
the
wanted to
best.
see them. So she's not seen them.
Yeah.
That's
But
awesome.
Well, you also saw his best, I would say, American movie.
Yeah.
You know, because he came out swinging with a couple others that kind of sucked. The Ben Affleck one.
Yeah.
What am I talking about? Paycheck?
Or
Payback?
payback, is it?
Payback.
Oh, I need to move over.
Apparently you're not in frame.
That's fine, banjo. You know.
And then Broken Arrow is pretty good.
Broken Arrow is pretty good. Broken Arrow,
Scream
which has a
2.
great score,
Great
that
score.
was reused in Scream 2.
Dewey's theme.
It was supposed to be temp audio, but people liked
Yeah.
it so much that Dewey's theme in Scream 2 and I think beyond is the Broken Arrow theme.
Because then if you watch Scream 2 and you really focus on the music, it feels so out of place with the rest of the franchise.
Boom, boom, boom,
Really.
boom.
And it doesn't have Red Right Hand in it, right?
I don't remember.
Or
I don't remember.
does that make it in anyway?
I don't know. But
We also just watched They Live for the first time.
Oh my
Okay,
God.
yeah.
We're not even
Yeah.
going to get to the other the movie that came out of time.
Keith
The
David,
current
How
film.
awesome
Keith
was
David
that?
just
They
got
Live was insane.
his star on the Walk of Fame.
Now,
No way.
was the fight ruined for you? Did you already know about that
No.
before?
It was very funny.
How far
Yeah.
into the thing were you like, what the fuck is going on here?
Well, it's 5 minutes, right?
Yeah.
For anyone who hasn't seen They Live, there is a
Spoiler alert.
fight sequence that's really, really long for no reason.
Yeah.
That apparently was that the two actors just choreographed it for fun. And then I guess they were like, do the whole thing. Why not? So they did. And I think it was like maybe a minute before we were like, what is going on?
Yeah.
It just keeps going.
Good. About a
It's
minute.
so unnecessary.
Have you seen the South Park? That,
yeah.
Probably, but
there's
I
a
wouldn't have
South
known the
Park
reference.
that basically does the same fight scene. They like choreographed it the same way. It just goes on and on and on.
So
and on.
fun. Yeah.
Great movies. Wow.
been seeing some great stuff.
Yeah.
But the films we're here to talk about today is like this weird kind of like horror summer that we're having, which is, it feels huge. It
Weird
feels like
horror
these movies
summer.
are very,
summer.
very, very big,
Yeah.
or at least very successful. So to start with, I think the most commercially successful one, Final Destination, Bloodlines.
Bloodlines.
Thoughts?
I think I saw it last. I mean, you saw it in theaters. Yeah.
Yeah, I had only seen the first Final Destination.
You didn't see the Bloodlines in theaters?
No.
I
You
didn't
saw it at
either.
home?
I saw it at digital.
You
or
all saw it at
whatever,
home? Oh man, that was such a fun theater movie.
I bet. Yeah.
It seems like it was, yeah.
It was fun, and to be with a crowd is great for that because it's all spectacle, right? And that's what I went to see it for. I'm like, I want to see how they push the boundaries of the kills, and I was not disappointed.
Well, it's
with what they
spectacle
did.
and just what the fuck moments, the whole time where you're just kind of like, oh, well, yeah, like you're saying,
Yeah.
it's fun with the whole crowd.
Are we in
popping.
spoiler territory at this point?
I feel like
If
we
you
have
I
to
feel
be.
like it.
What was your standout kill? Because for me, I think it was the MRI or the CT scan
my
Yeah.
machine.
God, dude.
I thought was pretty brilliant and
Yeah.
incredible because also they teased us so much in the piercing and tattoo parlor with the piercings and the getting
Yeah.
stuck
was
that
great.
I thought that was such a great turn.
Well, for one, I will tell you mine in a second. But did we all like the movie?
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
I loved it.
I liked it. I didn't love it. I liked it. I didn't
I
love it.
thought I thought that they like I always enjoyed those movies. We actually just went and rewatched the first one, and that movie is like very earnest. Like it really
Yeah.
it tries very hard in a way
Yeah.
that's like, damn, you really got emotional. This one's certainly a lot sillier, and I want to go rewatch the rest of them because I remember just loving them as a teenager.
It's my plan this summer to
Yeah.
do like the rest of the Final
That's your
Destination.
plan this summer?
Zach and I.
That's
have
the
been
only
planning to do
plan.
it.
Oh my God.
And I thought that like it definitely made me like these characters, which some of the Final Destinations don't do. Like I liked most of them in that the protagonist, he wants you to pat him, sorry. He's toxic.
I love him.
The protagonist, I really like. I actually was like, man, I hope you figured this out.
Yeah.
And the thing that I think I liked the most about it was the theme that they have that I don't remember being in the others of the old lady who is trying to keep herself safe to bar everybody else, like the
Yeah.
floodgates from opening. And
Those
her
new
looking for
rules.
someone in that
Yeah,
house.
Yeah.
they
Yeah, a little
definitely
bit. Well, 'cause he's-
introduced lore.
There's that
Yeah.
dude who's out in the cabin trying to get away from everybody,
Yeah.
but then like little, the nails are coming out of the wood and
Yeah,
stuff.
it's just
and-
that she succeeded, and that like
Yeah.
I love the
Yeah.
like, well, if you don't believe me, I'll prove it to you. And she walks outside, and that conspiracy theory stuff is actually correct. Like the way it was put in that movie, I thought was really, really fun.
The notion that you can't outrun time and death is inevitable, and them playing with that was really and also really sad in like the context of Tony
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Um,
his final film,
Who?
Candyman.
Oh, yeah.
Because that was
Tony Todd.
Tony
Right,
Todd,
right,
because
right.
he
Yeah,
and he has that really poignant moment where he's saying goodbye and
This is
Yeah.
a perfect final film to have be your final
Yeah.
film.
And he does,
Yeah.
it's because he looks really thin too, and it's very noticeable, and it is hard to not notice that. But then going back and watching the first one and realizing he's in that too, I didn't even remember that. Like
Yeah.
he's been there for that long. That's
He's
so
the
cool.
Final Destination guy.
what was it?
yeah.
$1,000 a bee?
It was.
What did he get? isn't that the whole thing in Candyman
Yeah.
that like he got like $1,000 per bee
for Sting, for every
or that
sting.
he put in his mouth or whatever?
I think it was
That's
for, wasn't it for every
crazy.
sting he
Maybe
got?
it was everything
Yeah.
because he made like $20,000.
Yeah, he made good money.
Oh my god.
You kind of mentioned it that the first one is earnest,
Mm.
and this one, like, part of me watching it was if this wasn't a Final Destination movie and we were making a parody of Final Destination, if they didn't get the license and they were
Yeah.
like, we're just going to do a parody, I would have perfectly accepted it.
Yeah.
Right? I would have been totally fine with it because it was so wacky and silly, and because there's it's like a period piece for a portion of the film. It's like in the
Yes.
60s, right? It's so like CG stylized in many ways.
The start sucked for that.
That
I think.
but it felt like it was a different tone than not in the later ones, but at least the first one. So
For sure.
yeah, I was like, it sounds like we want parodies of horror movies again. Maybe we should
The comedy horror stuff's
do
like
that.
huge right
We
now.
should do
Like,
it.
I think just we as a society and culture all decided at once, we're like, we love the premise of these movies, bring them back. And they like leaned into just how ridiculous they
Yeah.
can get as opposed to, making it this
And yeah, like
super
it's,
earnest story, which
they're so
we all
unique
appreciate.
to watch because so it was Rahul's first time watching one, and that's like that was
Okay.
really fun because he's like, this is ridiculous. This would never happen. I'm like, yeah, that's the point.
Yeah.
And then as you start to watch it, you start doing the same thing the characters are doing, where you're like trying to piece things together and figure out how the most ridiculous death possible is going to happen. And I think that's such a fun movie experience, especially actually watching it at home, because you can talk about it and be like, oh my God, it's going to be that. Like the MRI scene, I agree, is the best death in that movie. I never would have guessed that would have happened that way.
No.
Like it's so good.
You
Especially
didn't guess that there was the second you saw the MRI machine that something was
but
going to happen
totally-
with that?
We kept being like, how's it going to be the MRI machine?
They
you
How
think
can
it's
that
gonna be
kill
the other
someone?
guy.
do the setup that that he's not their biological kid, so he can't be affected, and no one can escape.
I have to say, there was a lot of metal in that room. But
was a
that
lot of
hospital
metal.
should be shut down because that room with the MRI machine, not even them, there was a lot of stuff in there that shouldn't have been in there if that's what
But
they're doing.
death, you know, that's the thing. You get to right away everything that's bullshit. It's like,
Yeah.
well, how did that scan thing work, and why does that MRI machine
Yeah.
have that
Yeah.
capability? Don't worry about it. It's death.
Yeah.
Well, that's another brilliant part about the premise is just like you never see the bad guy. We don't, like you just know that he's out there.
Yeah.
And it's so effective.
To what you're
So-
saying about like we're having this amazing 6 months of horror and we're getting into horror summer now. I do wonder if we are cresting this tipping point. We're on the top of the roller coaster and it's going to come over
The
because
studios are all going to do it.
yeah, the studios are all doing it now and it's going to get oversaturated. And also we've gone from like the micro budget to now we're in this like mid-tier range or even getting a little bit more expensive with these budgets where it's can we recoup these? And so I'm really and audience like our audience appetites, they kind of fluctuate. So if you go too far to one extreme, they might bounce back and then say we want comedies now. So
True.
I do on a personal level worry because I'm loving it.
I'm not worried at all. I think that I hope they double down. But yeah, you're right. They need to keep the budgets just where they are. Don't try to make
But this is
Try
what
to
always
do it.
happens is like they're like, oh my gosh, if we make a $15 million horror movie, it's almost guaranteed to make money. And then they go, well, what if it's $150 million? And they go, then the math has to work out. And they go, that's not how it works.
Yeah, I mean, no matter what, indies are going to keep making horror movies because they're so cheap, right?
Yeah.
Like,
And that's where all the sick fucks
they'll
live.
keep doing it. It's true. What are they doing out there?
Yeah. They live in that indie, that $3 million zone.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I wonder if like because this stuff's so successful right now, like the ROI is the stats are crazy for horror movies. It's like 1,000%. Like it's so nuts. But I wonder if we end up getting like a Marvel does one. You know what I mean? They're like, let's make a horror movie. Look, the kids love it.
Well, I'd say the closest would be Werewolf by Night, which I loved so much. And I felt like that was the indicator of, oh, we're moving into a new era of Marvel, where they're playing around with these genre movies. But then they haven't done anything like that since.
Also, now Mahershala Ali is saying, don't even ask me about Blade.
Don't ask me about Blade.
So he's like, I'm tired of hearing about
Damn.
it. I don't know.
Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, what a waste.
Yeah.
Yeah, we still are franchisificationing it though. That's a word I just made up. But because like we're all talking about how much we love the premise of Final Destination, but you only get a premise like Final Destination when filmmakers and writers are allowed to experiment with fear and concept. And it's
true.
If everything is now a Final Destination or everything is a Scream or everything is a whatever, we're never gonna get a new Scream or a new Final Destination. So.
It's true, and I guess they don't tackle any different themes. Like I would currently say that The Monkey is my favorite Final Destination movie because it still is that. But that movie like similarly hit me in a way that like I found it very effective at being like, hey, death happens. You can't like put your life on hold or not spend time with people that you love. You have to just be willing to live anyway. And I thought that was really beautiful. Whereas this movie, I didn't like have anything like that to take from it. It was just like the guy got killed by a wheelchair.
Yeah.
Hopelessness.
Yeah.
Death will come and find you.
But also, I loved the coin. That's the thing I don't think they've done before. Where I was like, "What's that going to have to do with everything?" And like them tracking that through was just like unnecessary, but very fun.
yeah. It was
good.
That coin
Yeah.
killed that family, and I was like,
Yeah.
"That's really cool."
It was a great thread. I
Yeah.
loved the garbage bin sequence, especially her laying it all out. And then
Yeah.
that's so funny. The
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
dump.
That was the one. Like to answer your question from earlier, like the MRI machine was probably the most impressive kill, but like the garbage one is the one I've thought about most, just viscerally. Like just your head getting just from a completely exploded from a blunt
That
force
one
object.
is a friend of mine, Anna Lore, is the actress who plays that character. I don't remember any of their names. And she did send, because it was originally, she might have been on this podcast, but timing. She did send over the BTS thing. I think you can find it easily online how they did that, and it was like it was practical.
They dumped her?
She's dead.
Well, she died.
Yeah,
She sent it to me. Until the last second where they swapped her out for a dummy. So like
Gotcha.
she is in that whole machine was built like it really looked like CG to me because of the way her face crushes, but that's
She sells
actually
it.
practical.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
Super well done. It's disgusting. And
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I agree. I think the humor in it especially having just watched the first one, it's like they're delighting in the same thing that we are, which is like pretty gross, but very, very fun.
Yeah.
Julia is her character's name, I think.
I think you're right.
Remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Movies
really
don't. It's okay. Movies don't hammer you over the head with names anymore.
Yeah,
it's an
good.
observation I've made as I watch new things, and I also love watching old things. They're like, Michael, come in here, Michael. This is how old movie dialogue was.
Yeah.
Now they're like, you just see the credits and you're like, oh, it's Julia was her name.
Yeah.
Well, we also talk a lot about how like you used to get a squad in a movie and you'd know everybody's name or call sign, but then like the new Twisters movie that came out, I'm like, I don't know who the hell any of these people
Well, I don't think they want
are.
you. I'm sure there's a conversation where they're like, we want you to see Glenn Powell.
Yeah,
We don't want you to think about anything other than Glenn Powell or
fantasy of
Sydney
Glenn
Sweeney.
Powell.
Yeah, so
I mean, it's one of my biggest writing pet peeves in general, so I'm kind of glad they moved away from that, is like characters who like are on the phone and like, hey, Dad, so nice to talk to you, Dad. Anyway, I'll talk to you later, Dad. People don't talk like that. Stop calling each other by nouns. Like, drives me crazy.
There was also the trailer cliche of, here's Felix.
Oh, yeah,
Felix.
Yeah.
Felix. And you see like 10 people say his name in the movie.
Yeah. That was a
I
huge
just saw
thing.
one of those recently. Like there's a trailer out right now
Yeah.
that is doing that. I cannot remember for the life of me what it is, but let us know in the
that
comments.
kind of makes me
know his name's
happy.
Felix.
Yeah, Felix movie's back. we know. We
cat.
know his name.
Yeah.
It's just the cat. So yeah, any closing things to say about this movie? I feel like it's a really
Closing.
easy one to talk about because it's just
Yeah.
like it's Final
It's fun.
Destination. It's a good Final Destination movie. It's a great time.
It is,
The gimmick or the structure that they have of it starting with that one giant death scene I love, and this was an amazing one of those. The whole
the building.
the building, and you seeing every single one of these people
So
die.
elaborate.
It
also-
was awesome.
It also goes on just long enough to be more than a cold open. And you're like, is this the movie? I didn't see any trailers for this movie. So I just put it on and I was like, oh, I guess it's like a prequel. And like, I thought it was a cold open, but then it went on for so long that I was like, no, this must be the whole movie. This is our character, which is interesting.
It's like 20 minutes probably,
yeah,
right?
and then it's like 20 or 25 minutes,
Yeah.
and then it goes, all right, now the movie's actually starting. And I was like, I love that.
Yeah.
So.
Well, a lot of movies do suffer the problem of they blow their load in the cold open, and then nothing quite tops that
True.
scene. Two that come to mind for me, of course, Ghost Ship, infamous
Oh, yeah,
for that.
Yeah.
And then also Thanksgiving, I felt like that opening of Black Friday, nothing in the movie quite hit that same high.
I wonder if sometimes that somebody has a really great idea for a short, and then they're like, and there's some other film also.
100%, 100%.
All right, I feel like I've been talking too much, so I will give you the floor to talk about a film I have not yet seen. Unfortunately, didn't have time. 28 years later. I'm a big fan of these movies.
Are we non-spoilering this for you? Do you want to try? Do you want to see it?
I
right?
do want to see it.
So we'll try and keep
I
it
don't
vague.
care if you give me, because it's how creative can that franchise really
Well,
get?
just
you
a
know?
preface, Alana was like, let's have a horror podcast. We're going to do
Well,
28 years
you know what
later.
it was? Is that I had tickets for it tonight. And so when I was like, oh, I really fucked up the timing of this, because I think in my head we were originally doing Thursday or something. Like there was something that I was like, oh, fuck. And then I was like, well, it's fine. I'll catch it later.
I won't spoil anything. I just want to say that whatever thoughts you might have about this movie, it's setting up a trilogy for the lads, and I'm excited about that. I'm trying to keep that as vague as possible.
I'll also try and keep it vague,
It's for
but
the
I will
lads.
say, picture the largest penis you can actually imagine in your head.
I'm
it's
picturing
bigger.
You will
It's
see
bigger.
it.
It doesn't work for us because we've seen the film. But if you haven't seen the film, picture the largest penis you've ever seen. You could ever
Neither
possibly
of the things
seen.
you guys have said make any sense to me. What?
Well, that's probably why the film is so divisive.
I'm struggling to remember the penis you're talking about.
What?
When?
Are you Are you joking?
When?
Like,
Are you joking
Where?
right now? I
Like-
genuinely can't tell if you're joking.
Give me more context for the penis.
really? Are you
There's.
like?
Goliath?
Oh, okay. Yes. Like the zombie guy.
Do you go to like a Christian movie theater where everything's
Yeah,
like
like that.
edited?
It was-
yeah,
it was
there's
pretty
just a
boring.
always a giant palm frond everywhere.
Well, for one, it wasn't like it's a pretty wide shot of that penis. I feel
I
like we
mean,
needed
it
some
wasn't
some
wide enough.
scale.
It filled the
Yeah,
frame.
James. Ryan and I have seen big penises like that all the time.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's not a big deal to some of us.
It was a wide. It was like there wasn't enough.
You're
scale
outing
for you to
yourself.
know.
Anyway.
Okay, so what?
So, all right.
was the
So,
movie.
the interesting thing is, I did not like
Alana's
this movie.
I better get those tickets back.
I did not like this movie. Like, I started. I had loved. I love the first one. I think the second one is flawed, but still has like some interesting merit. I think it has an incredible cold open. It has a great score.
In the House in a Heartbeat.
And it also does kind of tell a pretty interesting case study on like what a little bit of time has passed, right? This is what I always said in Walking Dead. How are they still wandering around? And what are these zombies?
Yeah.
How do they continue to exist? This movie kind of like answered that question.
Yeah.
It's mostly under control and it's allowed kind of a totalitarian regime to take over, but then one small crack in that system and you see how those walls are now trapping you, right? And I think that's the statement. My biggest issue with this is I could not figure out what 28 years later was trying to say at all.
Huh.
I didn't feel like it had a take, especially when you think like this is 3 decades after a zombie outbreak.
Yeah.
What does that look like? What does that look like? And it didn't show me anything I feel like I haven't seen in other movies before.
You get like a glimmer of the global geopolitical state of things, but not like that to me is the most interesting part of things. Like in the World War Z book, that is what is amazing about that book is like that global perspective you get.
Yeah, the point of view that the movie chose was not the interesting one for me. And so I started like, okay. And I was like constantly, I feel like I always start movies at a 5-star rating and then things happen and it slowly chips away.
I think same.
So I didn't, things kept chipping away at it. And then ultimately I walked away like not liking it. And then Ryan sent a text the next day saying, have you seen 28 Years Later? I fucking loved it. And so I'm excited to have this conversation because my opinion is my opinion. And I'm glad that people like things that I don't always like, but I'd love to hear what you loved about it.
Well, I was embarrassed from that text, not only because obviously there's movies I like that I don't expect other people to like either, but usually when I text them, I'm like, it's because, oh man, I think they're gonna love this movie.
Yeah,
man, James and Elyse are gonna love this.
Which
and then I texted them, and then they're like, yeah, we fucking hate it. I'm like, no,
I didn't.
Elyse didn't
I
hate
didn't hate
it.
it.
It was
I didn't
me.
hate it, and
Yeah,
I
it
think
was
we're
me.
setting up a trilogy for the lads. But I don't know what that means. He will say, I felt that way about Hard Eyes. Where I was like, Ryan's gonna love this, man. He and I are just gonna be hard eyes, and then you didn't really work for you. So
I thought it was okay.
That
That was good. That was fine.
Yeah, it was
I didn't
kinda
hate it. But yeah, like I thought when I remember liking 28 Days Later a lot in the theater.
Yeah.
And then by the time 28 Weeks Later came out, I for some reason didn't care enough anymore. I was just kind of like, okay, I'm over zombies. I don't really, and I just didn't go see it. So then when this movie came out, I kind of had that same thought. I'm like, all right, you know.
Where are the months?
Say what?
Where are the months? That's what I want to know. Where's 28 months later?
Yeah, I know
we
they
skipped
skipped over
it.
that part.
Skipped
Right.
it.
But so then I wasn't that pumped to see it, but I kind of forget how much I love Danny Boyle. Like he really delivers most of the time, I feel like, or at least they're interesting and shot really cool. And so that's what I kind of got out of this was that, is it my favorite movie of the year? No, but like during the film, I'm like, man, this is fucking awesome. And just his whole punk rock energy and pacing of how he shoots this stuff is great. To your point about, so I definitely think I like the technical aspects of it maybe more.
Yeah.
And I, on one hand, I agree with you that like I don't think they did enough with this premise, especially with the whole time part, because you're like, okay, days,
It's
then we got
so
weeks,
much time,
then we got
yeah.
time.
What
So it's like,
what can you even do with that really?
They scrape it. They touch on it. I mean, I don't know how, like, without giving things away, the focus is on this community that's on an island just off the mainland, right? That basically reverted back to, I don't know, like 18th century, you know, whatever. They don't have
very
technology. They use bow
isolated,
and arrows.
self-sustaining.
village.
Isolated and
Yeah.
self-sustaining. And so you're like, okay, but at a certain point, you do get to see a glimpse into the rest of the world, and they got cell phones, and they go to clubs, and they life is back. But it, other than
That's a movie.
one scene, it doesn't really address those two things at all. Like, because there's a kid who grew up in this farm society who is exposed to that, and he's like, "What is this thing?" And he's like, "Oh, it's a cell phone." And then that's it. Then that's as much as they ever
I
discuss
wonder
it.
if that was a different script originally.
No,
So I was gonna say my take, which I don't know at all, but watching it, it felt like Danny Boyle was like, "I'm gonna come back to this because studios are only making franchises. If I want to get a movie made, I got to make something that's a franchise." And then they said there's a potential for a franchise here, and it felt like he held ideas back to keep for the other 2 movies that he intends to make in this franchise. That's a pure speculation.
The video game.
So we're
way of
left
doing
with
things.
kind of a bare bones starter movie that has glimmers. There's something that happens at the very end of this movie that Elyse keeps alluding to.
They go to
that-
Nando's is what I'm saying.
Pretty kind of where that a lot of people are like, what the hell is it? What
I
is this
loved it.
doing in this movie?
I loved it.
I didn't hate it at all.
I
I
like that
honestly
part
was
too.
like, I wish this was the whole
Yeah.
movie because I think there's a take here on what 30 years later would look like.
So this is it very much feels to you guys like the first of a new trilogy.
They absolutely are starting something.
I
Yeah.
think there are 2 like that are greenlit, or the second one is in production, and then depending on how the second one performs will dictate whether he gets a third one.
Yeah.
But he wants to
Interesting.
do 3.
The first one's done really well though, so there
Yeah.
seems pretty likely. But yeah.
Interesting.
I feel like what you just described of the kid, like I think that was the take. It's just we're gonna make a coming of age movie of somebody who is born and raised in this crazy environment, you know, the infected environment. So it was kind of them trying to tell a very simple, small story about a father and son bonding together and how that would happen in this crazy world. And for that, and so it was kind of like a slice in the life of this village. And then I appreciated that part about it. You know, it didn't have to give the whole world, like be a World War Z epic style story.
Yeah, I guess I didn't necessarily want an epic, but I feel like what you just described has happened countless times.
And
in media.
you're right. And so that's why I kind of
Pretty much every movie
she's
ever.
like
The
this
Road.
one character is they don't know the world before, and they're naive, but they have aspirations and they want to
Wonder
explore
Woman.
Well,
everything. is
I
like-
also think when I think of like father son zombie movie, I think The Road too is like kind of
The
what
Road.
comes to mind.
I
mean,
guess
Last of Us,
I agree with you
like-
that it has happened before, but I just like how he did it.
Yeah,
It's kind
yeah,
of
I appreciate
ultimately, and it's super disturbingly violent and gory, which I
Yeah.
appreciated
What-
too.
Well, there's something with it though. I don't want to say because I think it will spoil something for Alana, but there's
Sorry.
Oh no, it's not your fault. I'm curious. Like, let us know when you do see it and
Yeah,
what you
totally.
think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you? My other point. my-
Alana could close her ears on this podcast, and you could talk
Yeah.
I
to
can
us
if
here.
you want. I can
Yeah.
just walk away.
Earmuffs.
I would
Alana.
say because the performances are really good. All the actors are really good. But my biggest issue, more than the time period or whatever,
Dong
is
not
that
big enough.
the movie, the script and the scenes are and then. Never therefore or but, right? The South Park mentality, but I also think applies universally to great scripts.
It's such a
Nothing
So
ever
good.
happens. The next scene never happens for a reason related to the character's choices in the scene prior.
Well,
Things just happen.
but I guess kidding on slightly, not really. But for one, even the and thens, don't you think that that's also just kind of giving us a glimpse into the world, like trying to be like, oh, like we get the
Yeah.
fat people. The
Well,
little
that's not
crawl
even what I
people.
mean.
Sorry.
There's fat people.
Sorry, there are zombie fat people.
I just
sorry.
mean the characters go out
crawl.
into the world.
is
Like
this
boomers.
movie?
The characters go out into the world. And I don't even think this is really a spoiler. Characters go into the world. They decide to stay in a place. They're like, well, we're safe here. We are safe here. We've always been safe here. But tonight, we're not safe here. Nothing. It's not like they interfered
choice.
with the environment in
Well,
any
they
sort
weren't
of
supposed to
way
be
or
there.
whatever.
So,
Remember,
I
they
think
were supposed
that's-
to go back home.
No, but
They got stuck there.
Oh.
but
okay, I think
everything.
that's really important in a horror movie is the act of somebody making a choice that has to have come from a negative place that the consequences come from. Because like even Alien does that in a really, really quick way where they're basically like, we got this beacon, we have to go check it out. Fuck no, that's not in my job description. I'm not checking that beacon out. That's crazy. Do we even know if it's human? And then they're like, remember though, you won't get paid if you don't do it. And they're like, fuck it, I'd love to do that. And so basically, even though it's the tiniest little decision, it's still a decision that they make where they're like, I'm choosing money over sense.
Yes.
And so it's like, you can get on board because everything that's happening was actively a decision. And I think when you don't have that, you can fully lose a purpose to a movie.
There's so many points in this movie where there is no active decision made. And like you're like, I don't see the logic in these choices that you're making. And then when you make a choice, it doesn't lead us to the next scene. There's a character in this that's like a complete, so vague, complete variable, right? Like the wild card that you would never want with you in a zombie apocalypse.
Mm-hmm.
And then they just let the character, they don't even watch the character. They're like, all right, well, I guess you're just gonna walk with us. Oh, you didn't, and now you're somewhere else entirely in a completely different situation. Like, but it's not like something transpired. It's not like something distracted them. It's just like, where are you going? Oh, you're just wandering away? Okay. And it happens constantly in this movie. Even at the opening, this is not a spoiler, but Aaron Taylor Johnson wants to take his son into the mainland to do this survival thing that everyone has to do at one point or another, even though what the goal is kind of unclear. It's like, go there and I guess shoot your bow and arrow at something. Is like all you have to do.
First kill. It's a walkabout.
Yeah.
Which he does do, and then they continue walking, and it's not because he's necessarily trying to prove something, but there's a throwaway line where one of the elders says, "Why are you taking him? He's so young." And you're like, oh, this is going to come back. We're going to find out. Never addressed.
Yeah, I wonder if there's a script change in there somewhere. That's
Never
kinda how it
addressed.
feels.
Well, I mean, he does freak out the kid, you know, and then he has that kind of epiphany once they get back and they're all so it's almost like kind of a commentary on like he's just kind of realizing, oh man, maybe everything that these adults are talking about has been bullshit because I just saw it from the first hand, you know, like I wet my pants when I saw the zombies, basically. And I came back, and my dad's talking about how much of a hero I am. Sorry if this is spoiled.
There's
No,
a
no,
false
you're not at all.
machismo aspect to it, but I'm also like, but why? I don't understand. Like,
Is it possible that the theme that they're going for could be like, this is what happens when you have like an innocent kid who is brought into a very broken structure? Like that's the only thing I can
I
sort of pick up from what.
I also think the entire perseverance of now this small isolated colony is survival. So they have to keep doing things to tell them we are surviving, we are continuing, we are able to take care of ourselves in this situation. So like him coming back and he didn't necessarily, act the way that you would hope that he did in that situation. But then his dad has to tell him like, you survived, you did it. Like you were able to do it. And they all have
part of
to,
that
in their
culture.
rituals that they do, like preparing the hall for like they have to be telling themselves like we're surviving against this.
yeah, which all of that makes sense, but this still doesn't answer the question of like, why is he taking out his son 3 years before he's supposed to? What are you actually meant to achieve out there?
Their
Like,
home life is falling apart, so I'm sure it comes from a place.
which is a whole nother,
too.
That part
thing
was
too.
all
Because
not the
that
best
I don't
written part.
understand. The movie is shifting perspectives, and
Yeah.
it's kind of like not even if it was fully from the kid's perspective, and they made us kind of understand. But I guess if you're an adult, which you're more likely to be watching this movie, you know that life is more complicated. So it's weird that the movie comes from the child. Like he keeps making choices, and I'm like, you idiot, you don't understand anything. Like
Stupid
what do you?
kid.
You're just a stupid kid.
But that to me,
He's just a kid.
That was what was kind of interesting about how they framed the story, because it's like, all right, yeah, you have these adults who have created this society trying to have some semblance of normalcy in the middle of this infected, terrible wasteland. And so for them, survival is just like, all right, we're not going to be able to do it like we used to, but we have some simulacra of a society. Whereas the kid who's just grown up in this is like seeing it, and then he's just like, what's the point of this?
yeah.
It's like, what is like
Any
it's-
generational
What is
shift.
the definition of survival and kind of
Like
That's interesting.
the kids that they've only known COVID, right? They
Sure.
were born in the pandemic
We've had
and
an
now coming out
entire
of it.
infected
like,
pandemic in the middle of these movies, the franchise. I didn't think about
wild.
yeah,
Yeah.
like I guess is akin to not the same, but
it's like if the movie was about a kid who grew up during the pandemic and then like
now he doesn't know what an iPhone is.
But now he's like, I don't understand. Why are vaccines important? Right? Like, it's like, because we're trying to protect the society. Like, I think maybe if the movie showed the society being worse, there's something that happens with his dad, which is like,
Which is Aaron
it's
Taylor
supposed to be
Johnson,
like,
right?
yeah, it's supposed to be like an oh shit moment. But I didn't really interpret it as much as an oh shit moment as a like, kid, you do not understand. Like,
I
you
agree with
don't
you.
understand any of
The
this.
dad got a bad rap in this.
The dad
movie.
got a really bad rap. So there's definitely things that happen, but more so, there's moments. I'm curious if other people felt this way, where the next scene just happens. Like, there's literally a point halfway through the movie where a whole new bunch of characters just show up, and you're like, "Why are you here?" And they're like,
There's the therefore and then thing. I bring that up all the time. But there's a second one of those, which is scenes and sequels. Is the idea that like this is more pertains to books, but is still definitely a thing in a screenplay, which I'm sure you guys have heard of. But it's basically the idea that like every scene should be like, if there's an action scene, they should also have a sequel, because that's how you get rid of tension. But the two have to be directly related for it to work. So if like something's heightened, then what's the sequel to that scene? And then you have a new scene. And I think that's kind of the same thing, where like if a movie like this, especially when it's super high action or horror, doesn't follow that structure, it ends up just being super chaotic. And you're like, what does anyone feel about anything?
it might actually do a pretty good job of following that structure at least, but I don't know that I always see the connection between the two, like the sequel aspect. So it does have these like heightened tension and then these emotional breaks.
Okay, so
where
the pacing works.
It definitely builds into that, but then and I'm like, sometimes like, I don't even know how they got, there's a character that shows up in like the last third, right, kind of the movie, who's like providing some sort of philosophical guidance, but then something happens right at the end because they need an action beat, and I'm like, this is so stupid. Like I don't know, it's tough to do without spoilers, but I'm like, how could he not have been prepared for this? Like, he deals with this every single day. Why is this happening? I guess why is this happening today? Is what I kept asking in this movie. Why today?
And I'm sorry. What's in my ear?
No, I can just leave.
No, it's fine. We can talk about it afterwards. We can talk about it afterwards.
This is not even the movie I want to talk about.
The part of on the poster of all the big Skull Mountain and stuff, when that actually came into play in the
Bone
movie,
Temple.
I was kind of cracking up a little bit. Yeah, just in terms of him.
Well, that's the other thing too. Is like
final crawl.
This is I think maybe the themes that the movie was trying to get across to me, and this is why I'm like, it's divisive. I see why it's divisive. I see why you like it, but I also see why I don't. Is like the Bone Temple itself. We went out on an expedition and we saw this crazy fucking guy who was doing crazy. He had bodies everywhere and he had skeleton bones and everything. And so we never went back there.
That was
He's
the
crazy.
dumbest
We're
part.
like, we never went back there. He's crazy. And then we go past that threshold and then the kid's like, he wasn't crazy. He was just building countless bone towers. He was just building bone towers out of every single body he could find. And I go, that's crazy.
It was a religious relic.
And then he's constantly battling with the giant zombie. And I'm like, cut his head off. You could subdue him. And then he comes back the next day and he rocks your shit. And I was like, why are you doing it? Is this how you exist? What would you have done yesterday?
He's a doctor.
None of it's gonna matter because the lads are here.
Then
Get
even
ready
the
to
lads
go.
thing, I didn't
was
hate like the
insane.
kid. The whole thing is the kid has this. This is full. Sorry for anyone who's listening with avoiding spoilers, but like the kid at the end is like, I feel prepared to take on the world, and the next scene is him going, I'm out of arrows, help me! And I'm like, why did you show me this? You weren't ready at all. So I don't know. I mean that, and then I'm so tired of pregnant zombies. If it's something that Zack Snyder has already done with zombies in a bad zombie movie, you should not try and do it in a good zombie movie.
Well, you're talking about the whole structure part of it, like the and then-ness of it.
Yeah.
But I guess for me, in a survival story, basically, at the end of the day, there kind of makes sense that you can have some of that, because it's like, you're literally in this weird environment where anything can come at you, and then, oh my God, this did, and then this did, and then this thing happened to us, and then. So I don't know.
So I guess one of my biggest things when I started to notice the cracks in this, and I'm sorry we're overpowering this conversation. This is the last thing I'll say, and then
I came here to talk about Bring Her Back.
Oh right, yeah. The last thing I'll
that on our
say is
list?
that one of the
Thought it
biggest
was.
red flags for me is that they stay overnight. They're like, it's okay, we're in the attic, we're safe in the attic. This is great. We're gonna hang out in the attic, and then for no reason, like 1,000 buffalo run by this house that has been there for 30, 50, 60 years. I don't know. It's always been there. He knows it as a place, and then for no reason tonight, a bunch of things run by, and then he's like, we gotta get out of this house. And so then they flee the house, and they're like, well, there goes our shelter, except the house is still there.
Yeah.
It's just like, you could go back in the house now. It felt like the filmmaker was like, we need to move them out of the house.
Yeah.
And I felt this invisible hand of the storyteller going, sorry, this is really
Time to
going to
move
slow
on.
down the movie if we don't move them forward.
And there wasn't a single line or anything that like explained like the
deer?
gazelles coming because of the sounds they were making or anything. I don't know.
That's what I was looking for.
Right.
I guess
yeah.
that's what I was looking
Okay.
for in this
well,
movie.
I give you that.
And they like have a picnic or whatever. They meet the Swedish.
You're
Yeah.
welcome back.
Please.
Yeah. But that's
begging
it. So again, I totally understand. I don't think it's a bad. I think it's great performances. I think.
Did
it's
you
shot
ever
cool.
say what the thing that you were talking about when we prompted her to get out of here? Did you
Yeah.
ever- Okay.
Yeah. We talked about it.
This is actually more interesting than I would have expected. Is listening to two people disagree on a movie that I know nothing about is more interesting than I would have thought. And you didn't spoil it for me. I'm just curious to see where I land on that spectrum.
Yeah.
We agree though. He understands why I like it.
Oh yeah,
understand why
I
he
would
doesn't
never
like
try and
it.
convince anyone to not like this movie.
Yeah.
I just think, I think also maybe I overvalue scripts and like stories maybe too much
I mean,
sometimes.
you're
For the
definitely
birds.
more technically minded. I've learned that even doing this podcast that you love the technicality of the way something's
photography.
shot.
If a movie,
And I do think James maybe cares more, which I'm the same. I guess.
well, I will usually when James brings up his script problems, I'm usually nodding, going, yeah, I totally
You just don't
see
care that
that.
much
I
about
just, and I wouldn't say I don't care about it. I would much prefer it to be well written and be awesome and stuff. But if a kind of average, poorly written movie has some really cool sequence that looks amazing, I've never seen a shot like that before. I'll like give that I'll give that another star and a
It's
half.
just like how much you weigh how important that stuff is or is not to you, which is like totally fair. Like
Yeah.
The
a bad script ruins a movie for me.
opening scene of Sixth Man immediately communicates how I'm going to feel when the movie's over, and I love that.
I
It's
love
a
the
great
love of
review
Sixth
of
Man.
20
Yeah,
years
yeah.
later.
You like Blank Man?
I love Blank Man.
Okay.
I don't know that it's socially acceptable anymore, but at the time, I loved it.
I don't even know what that is.
It's
Another Wayans. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Superhero.
Wayans Man movie.
Superhero.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, the third film of Summer of Horror is Bring Her Back.
Were we
Here
supposed to
we
watch
go.
this? I didn't realize that this
I've
was on
seen
the
it
docket.
twice, dog.
You haven't seen it?
No, I thought we had the other two was I didn't know we had a third movie.
Even if we weren't going to
I
talk
forgot
about
about
it, you
Final
should have seen
Destination.
it.
But
I'm sorry.
yeah.
It's fine. I didn't see 20 years later, so what am I complaining?
Do you want me to leave for this?
No,
part
it's
of
okay.
it?
I don't think we need to spoil it. It's pretty
It's
easy
okay.
to
You can
talk
spoil the whole
about
thing.
without spoilers, I think.
I think it's hard too.
Yeah.
It's probably better for the listeners if they get it
This
completely
movie is
spoiled for
definitely
them.
an energy film. I feel like it carries with it throughout a certain kind of unnerving energy. I definitely think there's a way to talk about it without spoilers,
Yeah.
with the exception of like 2 scenes. Like you got to shout
The
out,
fucking car, dude.
Ollie. Oh, the car,
The
right?
fucking
Yeah.
car.
My man Ollie out there.
I was like, what's this guy
Doing
doing
his
in the pool,
best.
petting that cat?
Yeah, Ryan, it has so many moments that when people reference the knife or the
The fucking
like
knife.
you have to. I've watched it twice.
So you really like it and you think that I need to watch
I think
this?
it's my horror movie of the year. Yeah, so
Wow,
far. Like,
really?
yeah, it's and I liked Talk to Me a lot. I did feel like the third act kind of lost some of the tension and the scare for me, but this one it like just takes you on this ride right into the end, and it ramps up into to that point where you are just God like and also I'm a little bit fatigued as on grief in horror. But I think this movie does it in a way where you're so in it, and then you're feeling empathy for characters that you shouldn't, and it's so
I think
successful.
it avoids the grief porn thing, which I agree is happening a lot lately, because the person experiencing the grief is not the protagonist.
Yeah.
So it's like it's still there, and it's a very strong motivation, but because it's sidelined,
Yeah.
you don't have to feel it the whole way as well. You know?
Well, even more than that, it feels like that grief is experienced by one character and significantly not experienced by another, though they've both kind of dealt with death,
God,
right?
yeah, I'm actually in saying that I completely forgot.
Yeah.
that they're all having.
Yeah.
There's
it
so
happen.
yeah, it's
But
like
one of them is suffering the worst.
yeah. But like one of them is like, how can I go on? And the other one is like tackling with maybe feelings of relief, you know, of like what that happens. And so it's a very complex emotion. Yeah.
Sally Hawkins is incredible.
Oh my God, she's so
What
good.
do you think about her Australian accent?
There's only like maybe like 3 things where she would mess it up, and like it's so hard. I don't know if you have the same thing as a Canadian, because how often are people pretending to be Canadian?
Also, for me, it's more like that person's Canadian.
Yeah,
I can
okay,
hear
yeah,
it.
yeah. It's just every now and then I'd be like, that was wrong. And I wish I could not do that. Like, it's just, my brain just goes, wrong line, said that line wrong. And I had the same problem when fucking Rahul was playing through Indiana Jones. Anytime that I could hear Troy rather than it sounding like Indiana, I'd be like, Troy. And then I have to stop doing this to myself. It's terrible. But
the
for the
squirrel.
most part, yeah, pretty much. Like, I just can't not do it. But I thought, like, across the board, she was brilliant. Even the, like, vibe was very weird Australian aunt. Like she did such a good job. And I was like, is this why she wasn't in fucking Paddington 3?
Well, when they show up at her place and she's blasting Empire of the Sun,
Yeah.
and you're like, okay,
Yeah.
all right, you got to see it,
The
dude.
Steven Spielberg movie?
No,
The
the
song.
band.
Oh, okay.
Band.
Cool.
And I've seen some people say that it leans so much on the kids in horror, and we're doing stuff to kids, but I mean, I think that's just the story they're telling. I don't think it's like we're just putting in creepy kid to get a reaction. I think it's like this is the story.
He's a great creepy
We're
kid
telling.
though too, because like I think the stuff like that, which is a little culty, the movie is a little culty in theme. Did you just fart, Manjay? Oops. Just farting in front of your friends?
Oopsie.
I heard that. Can get very cheesy where kids are concerned. The mechanics of this one were actually really interesting. Like mechanically, the way that it works, like I love that there's a point where he's just like, oh, so we gonna fucking do this? Or am I still just fucking waiting?
Yeah.
Like I love that he's like kind of on board in a way that like that even thinking about, usually they go like full like, no, everybody's a psycho, but it like mechanically functions correctly so that the kid, I'm just trying to be vague, has purpose both ways rather than just being punished in a way that I just thought was super, super interesting. I was like, damn, I am interested in how this works. This is really cool.
and the fact that she's a social worker.
Yeah.
Like it all works.
It's funny because I, having not seen the movie, I don't know anything about it, but it seems like the feedback I've got is that a lot of people were like, yeah, like, fuck this movie because it's just trying to make me feel bad, you know, but I
I didn't feel that way at all.
I like bummer movies, you know, like I'm okay with that.
I was curious how they were going to talk to me because I felt like The Hand was such a new, interesting, like kind of visual in horror, and it gave them a really fun like prop to play with in the way that Oddity had like the mannequin last year. You know, I was like, I always love when somebody comes up with a really, really inventive and unique looking new device.
Good point. They actually both have mechanics. Like
Yeah.
I guess that's like maybe a staple of the way they write their scripts is like they are like, and this is a thing, and here is exactly how it functions. And a lot of horror movies don't even really try to do that. 'Cause they're
No.
like, it's an allegory, don't worry about it.
Yeah,
And then
100%.
interesting point. They both do that.
But they knocked it out of the park. I thought it was. You're gonna hate it.
Oh, I think
loved it.
one of the things that stood out to me was how the movie, it doesn't follow a traditional horror movie pace, right? Like there's it's a sense of strangeness and weird things, but the way it unfolds in the movie kind of feel like, yeah, I guess this is what new strange places feel like sometimes, like in through a horror movie lens, and then it goes so long without like returning fully into the
Horror,
shit's
yeah.
hitting the fan horror that it does feel like. I mean, the premise is about these two kids that go to a foster home, right? Which would be in real life probably scary for those people involved and strange, and we don't know what's going on. And the way they paced it so that way you do kind of like, okay, this is weird, she's weird, this place is strange, who's Ollie, what's his deal, like. But then at a certain point you're like, that's Ollie. Like even you as the viewer are like, that's Ollie.
He just does
He
his
stands
thing.
by the pool. Just don't let him near the
true.
cats, right? Like, and I think it does a really good job getting you to that point before things start to fall away, you know, and break. So
Yeah, it's. I actually don't know if I liked it more than Talk to Me. I think I'm like maybe kind of split on. I think I'd have to rewatch it. I'm not sure.
I think I need to rewatch Talk to Me.
Yeah, same.
To know for sure.
Yeah.
Because I saw it a second time when James was watching it, and I was like doing stuff. But then when there were parts coming up, I'm like, oh, I gotta sit down. I gotta see what he thinks about this.
But again, I think that the thing that you're touching on there of like it the way it functions, I think it can get away with not having that like horror movie structure, which is so specific. Probably because there's enough interesting shit going on even outside of the horror, right? Like the performances are really, really good. One of the main characters is blind, and I think even that, like, and how they present that, like the fucking opening scene of the movie is so well written in the way that it introduces who they are as characters and their relationship. Like you immediately know how much the brother cares about her just from the way that he chooses to lie to her.
Yep.
Oh, we're establishing that he's lying to her, like to protect her. Like it's so fucking smart in the way it establishes everything that even if it doesn't like constantly scare you up until the end where shit gets pretty freaky, you're like, well, I'm invested in every other thing that's happening here. I think it's just a really smart movie. Also really fucked up. Like the knife bit, man, like, you know, it's one of the worst things I think I've ever seen. It's really bad.
I will say that the penises could have been larger.
Yeah, they were pretty small penises.
They could have been larger.
There was
Now-
a dick in this too. There actually was.
Well, that's why I came home from it to James. I was like, this movie had everything. It had penises. I don't want to say what else I listed because it'll
okay.
spoil it for you.
Spoil it.
I was like, it had penises, corpse eating.
Yeah,
I don't know what else I have, but I was
So
like,
hot
it
right
has
now.
everything.
Yeah.
It's got it all.
Great
Great soundtrack. Ryan, can you go outside
Go for it. No, I don't mind. It's a good
movie though.
Yeah, you should
you
watch
don't
it.
want me to- okay,
Yeah, you
all
should
right,
not know.
But
But
just phone people in and out.
So I do know that there is a different ending that they had
The
because
studio made them change it, right?
well, the movie was dedicated to their friend who passed away, and so they actually had an ending where the transfer did happen, like the soul transfer did. Kathy or Kate or whatever her daughter's name, and but then I think their friend passed away, and they were like, no, we don't want it to end
interesting.
that way. So they made a judgment on that, but.
So the one that I heard is that the studio said that the ending was too brutal and that they made him change it. So maybe that happened more than once. So what I think the original script felt like it probably was that with the way shit happens. So you know how she drowns the son. That's obviously drowning is like a very important thing mechanically in this movie. I think that it felt to me at very least that the son, because of the way this drowning shit worked, was actually going to end up inside of the daughter, and then he was going to kill her. Like that's what I think was going to happen, was that accidentally boy ends up in his half sister and kills woman. Because otherwise the drowning thing felt so specific. Like it's such a choice to have him die the exact way that she's trying to have the girl die. There was one other thing, that the hair thing, I was like, well, the hair thing also adds up.
Well, the
It's
dad,
like his brother's DNA or something like that.
eating the dad's hair was so that way Ollie could like mimic him.
Yeah.
To
for the
Scare
voice.
him in the
yeah, for the
shower.
voice to scare him in the shower, or whatever. And then because then it happens again when he mimics the brother after he's dead to get her to
she
come
comes
in.
home from her cool blind soccer game or whatever.
My whole big
Yeah, I
question.
forgot about that.
My big question was like, is this actually your deceased loved one's soul, or is this like a demon or something? Like, you know what I mean? And
That was my one weird, not hang up, but one of the lasting questions is like, it appears to work, right? Like
think it
based on the
works,
video,
yeah.
it appears to work. But I was like, I am surprised in other movies, and this movie didn't have to do it, but in other movies, you would have seen it go through and
They go wrong.
The realize
Yeah.
that it wasn't the deal
Yeah.
you were making.
Which I'm kind of glad they didn't do.
The
because
movie
that's what you
doesn't ever
expect,
do that.
right?
Yeah. So
100%.
she has to make the choice. Like,
Yeah.
like she has substantial evidence to believe that this will happen exactly
like
the
it
way it
works,
does.
totally, yeah.
And so she just ultimately, that's what I kind of liked, is that no character saves themselves. She
Yeah.
basically has to have a moment where she decides like, no, I can't do this. And
Yeah.
I think to the drowning thing, like she lost one child to drowning, hasn't been able to, but she was able to kill someone else
Yeah.
like actively kill someone using that same method to try and get what she wants. And I think it shows how far gone
Yeah, but she
is,
couldn't do it
you
to
know?
the girl. And I think that's like a big thing too, that she was like, this is the point where I cannot do this.
Yeah,
like, I can
break
throw
point.
away everyone else to get what I want, but I can't do it to her. And
Yeah.
I think that's why the drowning thing kind of does work, is it's like showing you where her character's at that
Yeah,
point in
yeah.
time. But
I loved her getting these like black market demon tapes. Like,
Oh,
of how
yeah,
to-
that's
yeah.
the cold open
And-
for this movie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
One of
yeah.
the tapes. Yeah.
And then they did a marketing website for this. I don't know if you guys saw it, but like where they basically mimicked what the website, the dark web website that she would have bought those on looks like.
Oh,
and then
cool.
so like they have like, you know, thumbnails and things on it where you can buy the tapes that she bought.
No way.
It's so cool.
Elise doesn't know this, but after she goes to sleep, I've been drawing circles on her forehead.
You know, I think
We
my
just
mom
have a lot.
did that to make me fall asleep.
It's because we mostly just have a lot of frozen meat, and we got to get through
Yeah,
it.
you gotta
like
get
we got to get through it. so.
Somebody's got to eat that. I did also think the again, just a mechanic that is cool and interesting to watch in this movie is the white circle around the property and like what happens the minute Ollie steps out of it is like that. Just every time I was like, holy fuck, that's so sick. Like just cool shit to watch, dude. Like
And then the moment when like her colleague, her social worker colleague, like when all the shit goes down and she's
what
just
the hell is she
like,
supposed to do? You don't
Yeah.
come back to the house, even if you did find something. What the hell is she
that
supposed
woman,
to do?
that woman played that part perfectly.
Totally.
Because when she
Performance
goes,
is
looks in the freezer and then she's hightailing it to the car. It was all perfect.
yeah, that fucking car that slams him is
Oh,
was,
God.
Brutal.
the friends that I went with, one of them physically grabbed me because he was so afraid. He had to apologize afterwards. It was very, very good.
So good.
Yeah,
I
I
saw it
think-
alone. So
Wow, in the cinema?
You know what I was doing at the time?
Oh
She was watching this. I was rewatching Better Man.
Actually?
Yeah, yeah. I had friends. I was like, "Can I show you this movie?" They're like, "Sure."
That's
So-
extremely on brand. That
Yeah.
you were watching Better Man and you were alone watching the horror movie really
Yeah.
checks out. That's crazy. I love that.
And then I
for
come
you.
home and I'm like, corpse eating.
And I was like, Better Man's even better the second time. There's musical notation that's fat foreshadows.
Oh, incredible. Ryan, you can come back.
Yeah, I mean, he's
You're
5
back.
feet away.
He's ollieing in the kitchen.
But I think it's easier to tune out.
yeah.
I was just scrolling.
Just don't pet the cat, okay?
It's a really good movie, Ryan. You should see it.
Yeah, it's fine.
I actually just watched Bring Her Back on like 5 times X.
Oh wow,
How
so you're
was
all
it?
caught up.
Good?
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, the knife.
Oh my gosh, crazy.
That's what I'm saying.
Crazy. Yeah.
That's our summer of horror, I guess. I thought that all of this was very fun. Again, I've not seen 28 Years Later, but the other two ruled.
Yeah.
Loved them.
Honorable mention, Clown in a Cornfield. You know?
Yeah, delivers on the promise of the premise.
Could have done it more.
Oh, okay. All right.
But
Have you
Down the
heard of
street.
the movie? I haven't seen it yet, but this is my horror movie I'm excited to see the most. Good Boy.
yeah.
Is it about a dog?
It's a horror movie told from the perspective of
Yeah.
real
Heard of
dogs.
it.
So it's like imagine like a Paranormal Activity, but there's some dogs in the house that see the ghost, and so it's like you're with the dogs the whole time.
Interesting. Someone was telling me about a movie recently where it's quite famous, but I don't know what it's called, where the camera is the ghost.
Presence.
Oh.
Steven Soderbergh.
Oh yeah, President's
that
Day.
sounds
That came
right.
out this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That apparently is quite cool, but like maybe a little gimmicky, I guess. But it's I didn't really know anything about it, but they were like, you should watch it just for like see how they did that.
My friend Greg and his wife went to see that movie in D-Box. So like the whole time they're like just floating around like the
Really?
ghost, you know, or like it's like 80-minute movie. Too.
Cool.
Yeah, they said it was a funny D-Box
Yeah,
experience.
it sounds very interesting. It's like I guess the idea is that the ghost is trying to figure out how to like free themselves or something. Like, I don't know. It sounded really cool. It's just been really
I'll say I love Soderbergh.
great horror.
He's
lately.
weird.
Great horror lately. Rahul, oh no, he didn't see. I was gonna say, what do you think of Bring Her Back? But I don't think you came to see it, did you?
Bye.
So much.
Bye.
Trying to see if there's any. I guess The Shrouds is kind of horror. Did you see that?
No.
There's
It's not really
the
horror, but-
Allison Brie, Dave Franco.
Oh, Together.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited to see that.
Yeah.
The trailer cracks me up every time I see it. You know, Alison Brie looks like she goes hard in it.
We're recording this a day, 2 days before Superman comes out.
Yes.
So
So I was like, we could double because we probably have a lot to say about that. It feels like we could talk about Superman.
yeah, and the
But,
Fantastic
yeah,
Four is also
whatever.
this
Yeah, we
month,
can. Maybe we
so,
should do those too.
Yeah.
And Jurassic.
Elise and I. This was a lot. If we need to wrap it up, but Elise and I also rewatched Spice World a couple weeks
And?
ago.
Oh my
And let me
God.
tell you, that movie rocks.
Does it? I
It's
haven't-
fantastic.
It's brilliant.
used
It's
to love it
only
so much.
aging better. Anyone who said it was bad, they're wrong. It's an avant-garde experimental film / musical where a bunch of really talented women play twisted perceptions of themselves, playing twisted perceptions of themselves in a triple meta deep movie about making a movie about the Spice Girls, and it's excellent.
I fucking loved it when I was a kid.
So good.
I feel like watching that again would give me so much warmth.
Oh,
I
yeah.
haven't thought about it in a long time.
It's great.
Well,
great.
and the Spice Girls. I've been reading. I'm sure you're up to date on the whole controversy with Together, that movie you just brought
yeah,
up,
yeah.
and how the Spice Girls are also involved.
Oh, that's what
How
made
are
me
they-
think of
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
These
So
two
the-
become one is used in the.
That is the weirdest part of that. So that controversy is basically that like the writer of Together was accused of stealing the script from another horror movie that came out, but then he was like, "No, I wrote this fucking ages ago," and like brought the receipts.
Yeah.
The Spice Girls music being at the end of both of them is crazy. How did that happen?
Maybe if it was a different song.
Yeah,
I would have
I mean,
used.
I would be more
as
like
you know,
that's crazy.
I
but-
would have used "End Together Now."
Yeah, I know.
Limp
You've said
Bizkit
that. Yeah,
and-
you definitely used Limp Bizkit.
But I guess "To Become One" is really fitting.
If
That's
you're
the
looking,
thing.
if you Google songs that would be
Yeah.
perfect
Is it
for this.
just a complete coincidence? Because that is the song. Like, if you're gonna do a together
Yeah.
song,
Yeah.
fusion song, that would be
the
it.
theme of your film. So I feel like there's a song.
Crazy. I really, yeah. Hopefully, someone gets to the bottom of that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I hope the right thing happens in that situation. That's all I hope for is
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
Lie detector tests.
yeah. We gotta hook
No,
them up.
notoriously reliable
Yeah,
lie detector
never gone
tests.
wrong.
Yeah.
Anyway, Ryan, I'm sorry. I think we just kept you very late. I'm so sorry. Is that
It's okay. I got to go now, but yeah.
I'm
we're
so
good.
sorry. Where people can find you? What have you been up to?
Ryan Shorts on the internet, or I stream on Twitch at Ryan Plus Experience sometimes, and I'm writing a feature-length movie right now that I'm gonna make myself. Fuck
So,
everyone in
it's your birthday
Hollywood.
this week.
July 10th.
Happy birthday!
Thank you. Getting older.
Yay,
Oh,
banjo!
Banjo
Die
Kazooie.
sooner.
Yay! Very cool. Yeah, keep us up to date. We'd love to, as you get to making your film.
All right.
Movie House exclusives, line it
I
up.
want to help you.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
I haven't asked y'all yet, but the first exclusive review I want done, Movie House.
Wow.
Can we get the
You guys-
exclusive director's commentary as well?
You will.
You'll
Yeah,
have to
I'll
go
be talking
stand in the
through whole
kitchen
thing.
again.
What if we hated it?
Huh?
What if we hated it?
Well, then I'm going to put an embargo on that
Oh, okay.
video.
That one you can't publish
You
that
can't
so
publish
you're
it.
after it's out.
Yeah, I get final cut on the review.
That's fair. Yeah, no, I'll allow that. Elise, where can people find you? What are you up to?
I want to help Ryan make his movie.
Hell yeah!
Find me at Elyse Willems and listen to Answer For It, the podcast. James.
I would also add, listen to Answer For It, a trivia podcast that Elise and I do together. New episodes every Tuesday. And you can find me at James Williams. I also do a wrestling podcast called Creating Character with SoCal legend Scorpio Sky and Eric Bedour, if you know Rooster Teeth.
Oh, cool.
And so, yeah, we take the fact that I did like online media for so long, and then at 40 years old decided to become a professional wrestler, and then he's been wrestling for 20 years, and now he's doing a podcast with me, and we're talking about how stupid we are for
That's
trying
super
to
cool. Yeah, that's right.
for trying to pursue these
How long
things.
have you been doing that for?
I think we did like 8, maybe by the time this comes out, there's 7 or 8 episodes.
Very
so,
cool.
but yeah,
I
check it
watched
out.
that funny part where he was talking about how he annoyed everyone by playing All-Star too much on the bus.
Yeah.
And then you were like, that's probably why.
Yeah, because he was like, I'm not on TV that much anymore. And I was like, maybe because you just admitted to playing All-Star on loop on the bus.
12:30 at night.
Yeah.
Take that kindly. Thank you all for watching. I'll leave links in the description where you can find these lovely people. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye. Go to the movies.
See you at the movies.
Go to the movie.
Wow, look at that.